7 o'clock on the dot. Thanks, Riaz. Good morning. The Coquihalla Highway remains closed this hour following an avalanche. The closure is blocking access between the BC interior and the south coast. The snowslide happened yesterday afternoon on the Coquihalla summit, forcing authorities to shut down Highway 5 between Hope and Merritt. More than 200 centimeters of snow has fallen in the area in just the last week. Thankfully, no one was injured in the slide. Drive BC is reporting the highway will not reopen until at least 8 o'clock this morning. A married couple who used to live in Surrey are now facing terrible accusations in Calgary. They're accused of neglecting their son so badly he died. The parents of Alex Radita could be charged with first-degree murder. The 15-year-old died last year allegedly from neglect and starvation related to type 1 diabetes. Surrey RCMP helped Calgary police in the investigation. Alex's parents were suspected of neglect here a decade ago. The boy was placed in foster care, but no charges were laid, and a judge returned Alex to his parents. West Vancouver police are investigating a case of road rage from a pedestrian. The man got into an altercation with a driver at a crosswalk outside Park Royal Mall on Saturday night. Witnesses say the pedestrian spat on the vehicle and when the driver got out, punched and kicked him.
It's unfortunate when it does happen. There's really no purpose that's achieved by this. It doesn't make a pedestrian any safer. In fact, it exposes everyone to additional risks, legal, physical, and otherwise.
The pedestrian got back into a newer model black compact sedan. He's only described as Caucasian, 5'10", 220 pounds, wearing a black jacket, tank top, and jeans. It's a boring, balanced budget for British Columbians. That from the man in charge of it. Finance Minister Mike de Jong has tabled a second consecutive balanced budget. In it, it includes a predicted surplus of $184 million, despite a growing provincial debt. Aside from more than $1 billion for health care over 3 years, there's very little new spending in the budget, and medical premiums are going up with a 4% increase next year.
We'd like to do more, but one of the reasons we're in the black is we haven't overreached, and we've been cautious and responsible about how we spend.
If this budget were an Olympic event, it wouldn't even make the qualifying round. A week ago, they made a bunch of promises in the throne speech, particularly around issues that most British Columbians think are important, around job creation and especially skills and training in this province. And when you look at this budget, it's a disgrace.
The budget contains more bad news for smokers. The tobacco tax is being hiked again. Cigarettes will rise by 32 cents a pack, or more than $3 a carton. That's on top of a new tax hike from the federal government. International news: Canada is among the many nations condemning the violence that's erupted between riot police and protesters in Kiev's main square. At least 25 people have been killed and more than 240 others are in hospital. This is footage of police storming the main protest camp in Kiev last night. It was the worst violence since the anti-government demonstrations began back in November. Protesters are continuing to demand that the government forge closer ties with the West and not with Russia. Ukraine's president blames opposition leaders for the deadly violence, accusing them of crossing a line when they called people to arms. The European Union will meet tomorrow to decide the 28-nation bloc's reaction to the escalation of violence.